up? It's me, Gert Meat.
That one he was just talking about was Stay Human, or not Stay Human. That game. Those two games. Uh, Dying Light. There we go.
Now the next one is Dead Rising.
Oh, the game he was talking about though with the staying under.
2006 on the Xbox 360. I know this because there was only one kid in our neighborhood that had one, and he was really weird. But we all went over to his house anyways. Because at the time, this was like a dream experience for zombie fans. The graphics and the zombie physics were incredible, and for about a year, whenever I'd take pixelated pictures on my little Motorola Razr from MySpace, every time I'd snap one, I'd say fantastic. But most importantly, Dead Rising is basically a zombie-infested mall sandbox where you could use all sorts of various items.
I've played that.
All sorts of different ways.
I had a 360, but I
never played a game with so many zombies on the screen at one time. But with that said, the zombies are pretty survivable. The infection itself is kind of gruesome. The wasp that plants an egg inside of your head that will then be transported like up into your brain and will feed upon the parts of your brain that the zombie doesn't need. Just hunger and like basic motor controls. With this wasp using the victim's brain, it's able to create an infection that is now be able to spread through bites, which is how most people would turn. Speed-wise, they're about the same as The Walking Dead. For mutations, I don't know if it would fall under the category of mutating, but after dark, these zombies, their eyes get red and then they get noticeably tougher, so that's something you might have to worry about. For virality, you kind of just got to be more aware of insect stings and, of course, not getting bitten by other zombies.
Yeah, I think that one would be.
Different from the Walking Dead universe, the survivors of Dead Rising have access to this thing called Zombrex, which can slow down and even suppress the virus, preventing you from turning as long as you have some. So that may affect it later in the ranking. But for now, Dead Rising is going right to the top, as just a little bit more lethal than the wildfire virus.
Now it's Dying Light. This one's up next.
Dying Light is scary.
Blaze Dying Light right quick, because that's exactly what's about to happen, Playboy. Dead Island is awesome. You know, it's a
Dead Island.
There is nothing that compares to the first time you're sent out to get Antizin in 2015's Dying Light, and you get caught outside after dark.
Bruh. I loved Dead Island.
Oh, yeah, the UV light not working. I hate when people call it Assassin's Creed with zombies because of the on parkour. Like, sure, it's like Assassin's Creed. If Ezio was hounding down German tanker chocolate and mutated into Kyle Crane, who literally has a 6-foot leap in Jade.
And Jade.
Our protagonist does a pretty good job at fighting and evading the zombies of Iran. Problem is, you're not Kyle Crane. You can't jump really high and climb stuff fast, and you probably don't have a Middle Eastern goddess to fight for. I love you, Jade. This. And even worse, these zombies aren't dead. They are actually alive. Dying Light is the beginning of our games that fall in the second zombie category, the infected. The term zombies usually refers to reanimating corpses, dead people. But in many instances, the host is still alive inside. But the virus reorganizes their mind, and oftentimes body parts too, to mutate that host into a ravenous killing machine. And also usually in stages that progressively get worse over time. If you don't consider this a zombie, and you want to do that thing in the comments, then 28 Days Later isn't a zombie movie, so don't do that. With the Haran virus, the first infected that you're going to have to fight is the virals. This is people who've recently turned and still have full motor control. They're fast, they can climb really quickly, they can even dodge incoming attacks. Interestingly though, I don't know the lore behind this, but I've never fought a viral that tries to bite me. So to me, because of that, it seems like that the more the virus takes over, the more of your humanity it takes away, and all it wants to do is spread. To reinforce that, you can even hear him sometimes beg for mercy. Pretty messed up. Any loud sound will draw them right to you. So explosions and, of course, firing any weapons is going to be really, really... After the infection is completely taken over the host, virals become biters. These are slow and shambling zombies that aren't really much of a problem as long as you don't let too many of them back you into a corner. Then there's the special variants. You got this thing called the Toad, which Crane really doesn't like. Shout him because this fucking infected mother... guts hanging out of his mouth, just spit a bunch of toxic snot. They spit this toxic goo that I would assume is infectious if it gets inside your mouth or your eyes. They don't seem to move much, so you just gotta stay out of range. Next is screamers. Even more disturbing to think about this happening in real life. These are infected children who emit a blood-curdling scream when you approach them, and it draws in all the zombie types nearby. Other than that, they do not attack the player, leading me to unfortunately believe that these are hear screams of horror coming from these children. Because to stop them from screaming, you're given a special animation just for this zombie type. Instead of just breaking its neck like other zombies, Crane calms it, and it actually shows being puts it down. Gives off heavy, just look at the flowers energy. At the same time, it is also a video game, so you could just do this. Hashtag punting a child should always be an option. Hey, I mean, it's a lot more humane than eating a child. Fallout, Pit, mods, I'm talking to you. If you chose that option, you're definitely one of those kids that burn their plastic army men on their lamp in their bedroom when they're bad. Anyways, next up is bombers. They're these really cool guys that like to hide in places and then pop out and explode in your face. So that's fun. And there's goons, demolishers, which are basically oversized infected. My guess would be somewhere around 8 feet tall. Goons hold a large weapon to swing at you, but they're pretty slow and can be avoided entirely. Demolishers are a different story. Living up to their name, they charge at high speeds, smashing through walls, and can throw projectiles at a high velocity. Everybody's got a plan for the zombie apocalypse till the zombies start throwing Toyota Camrys. All of these zombies together are going to be pretty tough to survive, but that's just during the daytime. When the sun goes down, out comes some of the most terrifying creatures you've ever seen. Volatiles. They're faster, they can detect you from great distances. Oh, and they use these tendrils that come out of their body to pull themselves to you, and then they eat you up real good. Rarely do the infections advance further than that, but sometimes you get a night hunter, which is a sentient volatile that only has one goal: hunt down humans. They will literally sit outside of your safe areas and just stalk you like a predator. Their only defense, they don't like UV light, so you better be best friends with the guy who has a plant operation up in his attic, because that's where you're gonna have to sleep every night. Dying Light has zombies that are faster and way more aggressive than humans, mutations that would be a nightmare to experience, and an increased virality because of a fairly short period before a victim succumbs to the infection. Dying Light is my personal favorite zombie game of all time. I mean, there's really only a few games that can hold up this well after a decade, and even today still add updates and content regularly. But the Haran virus does have something that needs to be taken into consideration. Antizin. Similar to the Zombrex from Dead Rising, infections of antizin can slow down and suppress the infection. Presumably, so long as you can keep finding it, you can keep living. And this is specifically, again, for the Haran virus, which is a different strain completely that of Dying Light 2, which I actually consider less deadly, because that virus can be prevented by just being in the sun all day. Though that may be a challenge for some of you to not turn, because you literally have to go outside and touch grass. So right now, I'm placing Dying Light's original Haran virus all the way at the top and labeled.
So yeah, Dying Light 2 is less threatening than Dying Light 1.
Yeah, I understand that, because Stay Human, you could just stand outside. You don't have to, because when you're bitten in that game, because you are forced to be bitten, when you are bitten, you literally have like 4 minutes maybe to... You broke my arrow! I am How many stabs can an arrow take before it breaks? 3.
Left 4 Dead. This is the next game.
You want to know who couldn't actually survive a zombie apocalypse? So Left 4 Dead 2 bots. Just jump, Rochelle. You're in the fire. Good God, I forgot how stupid the AI are in this game sometimes. Yo!
Left 4 Dead, I feel like, is a good game, but...
Stand there the whole time? Like, the old Oni cartoon animations were pretty spot on.
How many brothers? Why are they exploding?
Oh, man's a football. Left 4 Dead 2 isn't just one of the best zombie games of all time. It's pretty peak multiplayer, too. In 2009, I had this buddy's house where probably a dozen of us would crash at any given time. That literally had this game on one TV, Gears of War 2 Horde mode on another, and then Nazi zombies on a third, which were we're actually going to talk about in a bit. There is nothing more I hate than playing this game solo. I haven't touched it in years, and I really didn't expect to find anybody online. But within a few seconds of matchmaking, I had a full server in versus mode. We made it all the way to the safe house together. And then my favorite part of this game, I got to play as the zombies, which actually gives us a unique perspective on ranking these guys. Like on this map right here, I can't think of anything more satisfying than playing as the jockeys, steering them out a window off the edge. Left 4 Dead's green flu virus infects its victims with like a form of rabies that keeps them alive, but it increases aggression. Similar to the Haran virus, this infection also causes some of them to mutate, though it seems that it evolves more rapidly with like a victim-specific genes as it kind of takes on the traits of its host and is affected by the environment that it's in. Let me explain. You first have your common infected. Left 4 Dead doesn't do slow. Even the basic standard infected chase at you with full sprint. So that sucks for you. Then you have boomers, these big-ass zombies with diabetes who can vomit on you, attracting all the zombies in the area. The hunter, a hardcore parkour expert, because of his takedown close, this one's pretty obvious. The jockey's a little less obvious, but after some scientific analyzing, he was on crack at the time of the infection and in the deep south, so every time he jumps on a victim to ride them, it reminds him of riding his cousin. Next we have spitters, who had acid reflux and no Pepto-Bismol, and probably are the cousin of the jockey. The smoker, who was clearly puffing down 2 packs of Pall Malls a day, though his main attack is shooting his tongue really far to wrap you up, so maybe a better name would be the Tunger. No, I don't like that at all.
Don't call him
there's
that.
the Charger. I'm not really sure what this guy was doing before the apocalypse. Feeding a lot of ducks, maybe. There's also the lesser form of variants, which again can be different depending on the environment that you live in, like Mudmen in the Swamp chapter. Now, if you're able to somehow survive all of these, there's still 2 rare infected types that you're probably going to come across at some point. The Tank, which is basically a roided out jumbo zombie that can backhand you 100 feet in the air and throw projectiles if he can't reach you. And then the Witch, probably the most terrifying thing you could encounter. Basically, if you hear echoing cries and ominously crescendoing choir music, don't go that way. Don't go one other way. It's unclear how the Green Flu began, but Patient Zero was in Fairfield, Pennsylvania, and New Orleans was already overrun just a couple weeks later. This virus virtually
Hey, that's
every
where I
infected
am.
is sprinting at you. They have some pretty lethal mutations that can vary depending on the environment you're in. And the virus spreads really quick. Fast turn rate. For these reasons, I love Dying Light. The Green Flu virus is deadlier than Haran, placing it all the way at the top of the leaderboard.
Days Gone. I've never heard of this one before, actually.
Oh, Days Gone. I've played Days Gone. It's really good.
And then killing them in satisfying ways using elaborate environmental traps. And
Yeah.
50% doing 6 jumps on your Harley. I love doing the jumps. Once I found out about the jumps, all I did was 6 tricks on the jumps. Taking place in Oregon just after the initial outbreak, Days Gone's hooligan virus is a viral infection that turns humans and other creatures into freakers. Highly aggressive live host zombies with a side of hair loss and some of that jaundice that come with a confirmed caveat that we're going to talk about in a second. There are 3 types of zombies created from this virus. There are the common freakers, typically found in massive swarms to increase efficiency. Even though they hold no special attributes, they have the ability to pile on top of each other, to vault over obstacles, and that sucks. Breakers are yoked freakers that'll basically attack anything nearby, even their own kind. They don't care. They don't give a shit. Screamers were Karens that likely got infected outside of a target. If they see you, they scream really loudly, alerting all the nearby hordes. There's newts, which are like the few children that turned from the virus, as most of them were killed outright as soon as they got infected. Then we have the animals, man. This infection turns bears, wolves, and even birds, making them even deadlier. Birds. Besides all the infected, the most difficult obstacle to survive is the initial wave of infection. After breaking into a lab and stealing a sample, Patient Zero traveled to Portland, Oregon for an environmental convention to expose the lab and ended up infecting everyone he came into contact with. The whole virus is so infectious that just 2 weeks later, 1/3 of the world's population was already dead or a freaker, including almost everyone under the age of 12 and over the age of 60, from not handling the rapid genetic mutation. Cities had been overrun, the virus began to mutate, resulting in global societal collapse within a month. So we've got fast and pretty aggressive zombies, mutations that are meh, and the virality is probably one of the higher ones.
Yeah.
But the There's a major caveat that isn't confirmed for the previous 2 infection-based zombies that drastically hinders freakers. Just like the other 2, they are considered alive. You can kill them with damage to the body, as well as headshots, but we know that they have to eat and drink to survive. Every now and then when I was playing, I'd come across a freaker that's like hunched over water to get a drink. I thought I was seeing stuff until I looked it up, and it's a pretty common thing in the game. So that means at some point, if they can't find any food, even if they have like a mutation that slows down metabolism, they will die of starvation. If you can last till then, you can survive this apocalypse. Placing the hooligan virus down in 3rd place, just below the green flu and Haran virus.
Okay. So let me tell you the order
They have like a
that it is.
mutation that slows down metabolism. They will die of starvation. If you can last till then, you can survive this apocalypse. Placing the virus down in...
Okay, so we have Saints and Sinners, Walking Dead, Dead Rising.
Is this going from bottom to top?
Bottom to top, least threatening to most threatening.
Least threatening. Okay, so easiest to survive to hardest to survive so far.
Yes, so Saints and Sinners is the easiest.
Mm-hmm.
Dead Rising is the
Understandable.
second easiest.
Dead Rising was a
Day-
pretty fun game, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Then we have Days Gone, Dying Light, and Left 4
Days-
Dead 2.
place. Just below
Days
the green flu and
Gone
Haran
was
virus.
so fun, but it was scary.
Now next up is Resident Evil.
Ha! Which one?
Resident Evil now.
I think
this
it's
one is
just
complicated.
anyone.
Not because of me, but because of Umbrella Corporation. They are approaching almost Wile E. Coyote levels of failure. They made so many attempts with different virus strains, especially Wesker, that have been stopped by a girl, sexy guy, sexy girl, sexy guy and girl. I mean, like, RPGs seem to be a serious problem for Umbrella. Game series just has so many different virus types to choose from. Of course, there's the standard T virus that turns most people into your like run-of-the-mill zombie, stumbling around like in Resident Evil 2. But its variants can create BOWs or bioorganic weapons, like Nemesis or Resident Evil Revelations T-Abyss virus that turns us
Oh,
infected into like water-based zombies with some pretty wild mutations, like the sea monster thing
Bro,
at the end.
pause that real
and this
quick.
virus, if put into the wrong hands, it has the
Okay.
ability to infect the
Okay.
entire ocean. Don't that's true?
Yeah, so
Bro, Resident Evil Revelations, I think, would, out of all of them, including Resident Evil 2, I put Resident Evil 2, like, are you looking at the stream? I put it about here. I put Resident Evil 2 about here. Resident Evil Revelations, I put about here in hardness to survive. Because that game, dude, that game.
But like you gotta remember, in Resident Evil 2, you also got the Tyrant and the Tyrant.
Dude.
Like that's like it's probably not as bad. As
It's
Revelations,
not
but
as
still,
bad as Revelations.
It's not as bad, but it's still bad. Like think about it, it's still very bad.
That's still
Especially-
bad, but not as bad
I
as
mean,
Revelations.
if a street cop can survive Resident, I mean, he's dang near also superhuman as well. So.
I don't understand how that wasn't able to happen in the game because, I mean, the virus was clearly in the water. Regardless, after some heavy pondering, in my opinion, the strain from Umbrella that you'd be least likely to survive is Wesker's Ouroboros virus. Yeah,
The Ouroboros virus.
The Ouroboros
which one
virus.
was Wesker in? It was in I think it was Resident Evil 4, right?
Pretty sure it was Resident Evil 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Wesker was like mentioned in at least all of them.
Much deadlier purpose and effect. In Resident Evil 5, Wesker, which, by the way,
Five.
That was 5. Which was 4?
But let's be honest, though. Let's be honest. He is mentioned in every Resident Evil game at some point, somehow.
As a Eurotrans rave dancer, he creates the Ouroboros virus to expedite human evolution. Once infected, your body will either reject the virus, or if you have the right genes, it turns you into a superman that probably would follow Wesker anyway. He also developed the Ouroboros virus to go airborne, and planned for about 90% of the population to reject it. And by reject it, I mean experience a slow and agonizing takeover of your mind and body, and becoming an anime sludge tentacle thing that eats and affects anything around it. So basically, you have about a 10% survival rate. The numbers aren't good, making Ouroboros the deadliest zombie apocalypse yet. It goes right to the top of the leaderboard.
So Resident Evil 5 is at the top right now.
Now we've done the undead. We've gone through the infect. It's time for the third zombie type, parasitic.
Ambush. The war.
These are created parasite attaching to a host, often connected to the rest of the colony through some type of hive mind, generally focused more on collecting biomass from their victims rather than using their brain. Though these aren't like the standard zombies you think of at all. They still function under the same original idea of zombies in voodoo culture, where your mind is wiped and your body is used against your will for external purposes, which brings us to the first and one of the scariest games that I've ever played.
Dead Space.
Oh, fuck. Which one? I wonder which one he's going to talk about, because they're all pretty bad.
Yeah.
All three of the games are pretty bad.
Action games, but bringing home Dead Space in 2008, not knowing anything about it yet, and being thrown into that chase to the elevator the first time, I realized,
Oh, he's talking Dead Space 3.
Game that I could play in the dark alone. I just
No, I think he's talking about,
cool action.
he's talking about Dead Space 1.
Oh, 1? Oh, was that on 1? No, because I remember it was on 3, too. Because
He said Dead
as soon as
Space
you...
2 and 3 were pretty cool, but then he just
Yeah.
said something else.
But yeah, Dead Space 3 also starts with a...
Not knowing anything about it yet, and being thrown into that chase to the elevator the first time, I realized, game that I could play in the dark alone. I just tried the remake, and even though I know exactly what's about to happen, this is like this game is just perfectly designed to keep you in a perpetual state of crisis. There's no HUD. If you want to see your health bar, it's attached to the player's back, which is pretty cool, but they do it so that your eyes don't get a break from the grotesque surroundings. The creator wanted this game to have some of the best death animations ever. And
Can I swing the hatchet right?
And
Bruh.
most users are like, oh, the zombie got you, you're dead, damn it.
She is point blank, dude. Take the hatchet to her head.
Unlike many of the other games on this list, there's
Stop
just
shooting
this
my body.
constant feeling of being alone that's coupled with kind of a depressing hopelessness, but I love it because it makes the perfect atmosphere for sci-fi horror. And the roster of enemy types in Dead Space is huge because of how aggressive the mutations are. You got the basic slasher, which on its own already is just terrifying. All the way up to these celestials known as the Brethren Moons. These are the beings that send out these obelisk-looking things called markers that release the contagion for unknowing worlds. It seeks to take over as much biomass as it can. It also can transmit sound that will mutate dead tissue to the molecular level.
But yeah, do you catch that this is a new type of infection now?
What kind of infected?
Can I go back so you can...
Yeah, no, I didn't hear it.
Stupid ad, you make me look bad.
Parasite attaching to it. Now we've done the undead. We've gone through the infected. It's time for the third zombie type, parasitic.
Parasitic, that's right, yeah. I heard him.
From 10 kiloton out any dead organisms in the area, so that's cool. And that's just what's dead. Anything that's alive in the area will be driven to event horizon levels of insanity. Unlike all of the zombies on this list, simply destroying the brain or trying to kill these necromorphs with damage to the body is impossible. The only way that you can kill a standard necromorph is through dismemberment. It immobilizes them and causes hemorrhaging that they're unable to stop from having a less active vascular system because of the necrosis. And that's just the necromorphs, man. Intermittently, while you're on the Ishimura, you'll be strolling along, and then bam! Eventually, you find out that these tentacles are attached to a 10 kiloton giant naked beast. You think you're surviving that? No. But then you add in the goal of these planet-sized Brethren Moons, which is to collect all the biomass from your planet to keep building more Brother Moons. And once it gets just strong enough, it's going to just start sucking people up into it from the planet. Animals too. And everything that's organic on the planet to start building up the rest of the moon. Because of this, survival is pretty slim. The problem is still... they can call for help. So if a dozen Brethren show up to our pale blue dot, necromorph contagion all the way to the top of the
Dead
leaderboard.
Space is the first one. Now it's The Last of Us.
Last of Us isn't really... Well, Last of Us is kind of mid, but...
Honestly, I would say that the Ouroboros from Resident Evil 5 is kind of more dangerous than...
Yeah, but if you think... There we go. Took forever to break. Thank you.
Actually the scariest parasitic infection because it actually exists. Cordyceps unilateralis, that's a fun word, literally known as the zombie ant fungus, attaches to arachnids and ants and literally hijacks their brain function and motor skills, forcing it into the population to release spores that will infect any other insect nearby. Think about it. There is an actual zombie apocalypse happening right now on Earth just for ants. I don't want to spoil too much because the show's still pretty new, bringing in millions of new fans to the series. What I will say is that the cordyceps went viral pretty quickly by infecting food sources. By the time governments realized what was happening,
which I remember, it happened because the batter, or not the batter, the flour to make cookies. Yeah, that's what infected people.
billions would already be infected, and shortly turned into our first zombie type, runners. These are recently infected people that have the fungus growing in their brain, so it throws them into like these fits of rage. The more the cordyceps spread, the more rapidly a person evolves, with the next step being stalkers, which are like more feral and stronger than runners. Stage 3 is the infamous clickers. Completely blind, these infected have to use clicking sounds as like a form of echolocation to find their victims. But they're also stronger, and the cordyceps have like grown outwards on their face, giving them a shield a bit that protects the brain from incoming damage. The final stage of the infection, as far as we know, is bloater. When a host is able to survive over a decade, the cordyceps have completely taken over, resulting in a thick armor bullet, who, while slow, is much stronger than a human. They can literally kill you one smack. And they can shoot out clouds of spores to infect or poison you if you get too close. So unless your name is Joel, or Pedro Pascal for that matter, cordyceps are going to be pretty fast. They have mutations that become increasingly more dangerous over time, and they have really high virality because of airborne spores and infecting the food source. Though the spores can be combated by just walking around outside with a gas mask on. While very deadly, the cordyceps are still going to go all the way down to...
Wow. The Last of Us doesn't even beat Dying Light.
What? Bruh.
Dying Light Saran virus.
The door just exploded for no reason.
I didn't plan on adding Halo's Flood to this list. I didn't plan on adding Dead Space either, but The Last of Us has to be here. And since it does, what's stopping the other big parasitic infections from being here? If there is one mission that I never wanted to play in Halo missions, unless I was in co-op, it was the Flood. These dudes always gave me the hibbity-jibbities as a child. It compares heavily to the Necromorphs, rapidly infecting a host almost instantly into biomass that serves the purpose of growing into a much larger and sentient being. In the Flood's case, this is the Grave Hunter, which, while this is basically unsurvivable already, the question is, even as a massive Halo fan, I would say no, mainly because it has about the same virality and way that it infects victims, as well as some pretty serious deadly mutations. But the biggest grave mind that we've seen is about the size of the Leviathan, which is just a boss from Dead Space. The sentient hive mind for the Necromorphs is literally flesh moons. Flesh moons. Did I just discover a new word for boobies? At the end of the day, I think the
Flesh moons
are
Flesh moons.
Fine. Placing the Flood just below the Necromorphs on the leaderboard. So
Okay, so the Halo 3 Flood is under
Dead Space. Yeah, okay.
Which, thinking about what's going on, Dead Space, that one is literally a entire world like extinction event.
Yeah, that's a world extinction event. So, and that's still kind of low for what it is.
Maybe. I have no idea how to classify it, so it gets its own category.
Yeah.
What gets its own category? COD zombies.
Flying a plane out of a prison, mashing zombie heads in an ancient gladiator arena, or a bus driver driving you around a hellscape of a map, saying the most out-of-pocket shit. I just got done playing a lot of Call of Duty Zombies from my last video of playing and ranking every Black Ops game. I've come to the conclusion that COD Zombies, when you think about it, is just undead Home Alone. There's bad guys trying to get you. You could use elaborate traps to slow them down. And when it's over, you look like you haven't slept in a week and crushing down your third Red Bull. This is where I came up with the idea for this video, actually. I was thinking, like, COD Zombies are super arcadey, right? They're not really as scary as the zombies in other games. But if it were actually a real zombie apocalypse, your chances of survival are like 0%. Zero, you're dead. Your dog is dead. Grandma and her boyfriend who ask you for money sometimes, dead. I remember when it started. Staying up all night after coming home from GameStop or World at War just to beat the campaign so you could access that new zombies mode everybody was talking about. Back then, things were simple. You boarded up walls and knocked her untoten, tried to get the ray gun from the mystery box, and made sure that your network adapter was connected to your Xbox 360 so on Xbox Live. But slowly, the zombies in COD had to evolve so that it could stay alive, which led to like an entire storyline with really now its own fan base that buys these games just to play this mode. In come Element 115, which has the power to reanimate dead cells and create super weapons. This was sent to us on a meteor that came from a different dimension by this ancient race called the Apothicons, who were created by the Shadow Man. It's like this whole thing. It's a lot. Basically,
Yeah, we're not surviving COD Zombies because they're like literally
No, I could have told you that.
in dimensions face matched.
Like, come on, bro. Just
Like,
this first game.
I didn't know that freaking COD Zombies even had a war. I
Yeah,
just
COD
know
Zombies
that
has
they're
a lore.
zombies. And I mean,
COD
yeah,
Zombies
but
has
I
lore.
didn't play,
And it's
don't play
terrifying.
COD. You know that.
Yeah, no, COD Zombie lore is terrifying.
Element
Like,
115 turns into zombie monkeys that don't attack you, but try to disable your technology and weaponry that's used to defeat Element 115, so that's not good. Zombie spacemen, the Panzer Soldat, basically a Nazi zombie in power armor, George Romero wielding a stage light, and a Lovecraftian squid thing named Matthew. At least that's what I called him. You're already probably not surviving all of those, not to mention all the other zombie types. Overall, though, since COD is basically Marvelized with multiple timelines now, depending on which you're in, your survivability could be very different. I think the worst
Yeah.
one of the zombies are Black Ops 2, where the world is basically nuked to shit. So all you've got is an uninhabitable hellscape left, with pot-belly hobgoblins that jump on your face to scratch you up, fire cracks all over the ground that you have to jump over just perfectly or you get burned. Pretty much everyone in the world dies in this scenario. But to be honest, I would still take this over the Necromorphs and the Flood. Those just suck so bad. So COD Zombies is going to fit snugly at third place.
So it's gonna be Dead Space, Halo 3, COD Zombies, Resident Evil 5, Left 4 Dead 2, Dying Light, Last of Us, Days Gone, Dead Rising, and
Just give me the pack-a-punch. Give me a Wonder Waffle and some Juggernog as somebody named Nikolai. While I wouldn't want to survive Dying Light or Resident Evil, and I couldn't survive Halo's Flood, the deadliest zombie apocalypse of all time is Dead Space's Necromorphs. If I'm mistaken or there was something like this, I probably would.
he's not wrong. I mean, have you
Not.
seen them? Hey, Black Wolf. Scared the hell out of me.
you can stay in here. What's up, man?
No, you good, bro. You good. Nice.
Hey, that's good, man. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm just glad to see you, man. That's all.
Scared the hell out of us, though. Not gonna lie. You're good.
No,
You're
you're
good.
fine.
I'm just saying. Kamari was saying something, and I just heard another voice. It scared the hell out of me because I'm playing a horror game. So
I wasn't even looking at my. I was looking at my phone. I wasn't really looking at anything else that was going on.
yeah, I'm playing some of
I don't
them.
know which horror game it is. Yeah.
Like right now, I'm playing Saints and Sinners, the VR. You know, I'd be able to survive this. Like this is. I mean, yeah, just don't be stupid. I mean, I've watched the movies, bro. It's just
For some
are just
people, that's
stupid.
very hard. For
Yeah.
some people, it's very hard.
Ooh, Shiv, give me that. Exactly. Some people, they just don't understand. Don't try to fight the guy. Whoops.
I mean, remember that black guy that tried to fight him in one of the movies?
Like, he
was
straight
like
up,
literally just-
like, bro, Jason, like, just sat there and took the beating. And then when the guy was just like, oh, he's not taking any damage, he just stabbed him. It's funny, though. Because I think that's the one instance where a black guy dies to his own stupidity. And not to just no plot armor.
That's the thing. Now, it's funny because, like, he died. Yes, it is stupid, but for him, he died because of his pride.
Bro was too prideful.
That, and he didn't know that,
Jason is unkillable. Well, he's not unkillable,
Yeah.
but he just didn't have
I mean,
a chance.
but, like, in the movie, I think he was towering over him, right? Because,
Yeah.
like, isn't Jason, like, 7 feet something?
He's, I think 6 foot something, actually. 6 4? 6? Yeah, I think 6, 7 sounds about right. 6, 7 sounds about
But
right.
still, like, that's still a Goliath compared to most people. But hey, I will say, even though he did die from that, I give that guy respect. Because at least he tried to put up a fight. That's the thing. That's the thing. I'm very like. I'm happy about.
Any position that requires either strength, speed, stamina, and/or height, and you're not winning.
And I feel like that Jason cannot teleport because like freaking
He can't
Malphite,
teleport.
like,
Here's the thing. He can't teleport. On screen, he's slow. But when he's off screen, because I've seen a video, or not a video, but like, you know Ace of Spades, right? You know him? He did a video about like Jason, how he like walks on screen, and then the minute he's off screen, he just starts sprinting. It's terrifying to think of, but that's really the only like viable option to understand.
because for some of them, either he just has like because he's superhuman, but he's not supernatural. Other than like when he actually comes from hell, because that's canon, I think. Then he was supernatural, but like just like regular him, he was just
Yeah, he was just a human.
really strong and very fast guy.
Yeah, which basically all that happened was he trusted someone he probably shouldn't have that sounded like his mother, and then she told him to kill people. That's literally the whole backstory of Jason. No, I haven't really watched the movies.
It's
Yeah.
Pamela Voorhees, which is weird because actually no, because didn't she name him?
Yeah.
Even though that's not his mother. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's like in the war. That's like actually his mother.
It's not, I'm pretty sure. I haven't seen the movies, though. I watched like
I haven't seen
one
the movies
movie.
either.
I've watched
Because
one Friday the 13th movie. I don't get to watch movies
So
all that
that's the
often.
thing. If anyone asks you, like, let's say if like freaking the killer from Scream asks you, be like, who's the killer in Friday the 13th? Friday the 13th.
Friday the
Friday
13th.
the 13th.
Jason Voorhees.
God dang! Yes, it's her. He didn't even appear to like later.
Well,
But
you gotta be
other than,
specific,
the
because there's like
first movie-
13 of the movies.
Yeah,
So-
so that's what I'm saying. Like the first one, but like literally anything after that, you can say, oh yeah, Jason.
Yeah. Because if he's gonna ask which one or who the first killer is, he has to be specific. Or who's the killer in Friday the 13th, he has to be specific about which movie he means. Because, yeah, there's a bunch of them. So,
So technically, the people that guessed Jason, they
weren't
probably,
wrong.
Yeah, they weren't wrong at first, because they didn't specify which.
He
movie.
did, yeah, he didn't specify which movie. Like, my first guess would be Jason, because Friday the 13th, that's what Jason is known for. Or that's what Friday the 13th is known for, is Jason. For him being the killer and all that. So, technically, people that guess Jason at first are not wrong. It's just he has to be so picky. Which actually, you can't, no matter what you do, you can't kill Scream.
Technically, yeah, because it's just literally just.
It's literally just it's literally just normal people that just go insane and start killing people for no reason. Or just watch too many horror movies.
That's what I'm saying. I like
Like,
because if they say that you don't watch scary movies, don't they just like kill you on sight or
yeah, they just kill
watch
you.
something else? Ah, okay.
They just kill you on sight.
Which honestly, as long as I'm not getting shot at, I will literally take I feel like I can take a guy with a knife. Which that's like people be like, oh, I can take a guy with him and be like, no, because yeah, stealth. I'm not getting snuck up on. I'm sitting in the corner most of the time, and be like, all right, run them hands. Or
He's gonna be
hands.
He's gonna be above you or below you, and he and or she, because there have been female ghost faced faces, and not gonna lie, but you know.
Because if I'm with range and she tries to throw, or they try to throw a knife at me,
Bruh, just
I
weave.
know I have quick enough reflexes to move out of that. Because as soon as I see him wind it up, I'm instantly
the
gonna dodge
minute-
and then just fake it. I'm gonna be like, they're gonna look stupid because they're gonna be like, and they actually throw it, and I'm gonna be like,
Bruh. Weave. Because
and now unless
in
you just have a
the
second knife on you, now I have a knife.
yeah, but in the second. I have a PS5 or a PS4. PS5. I wish I had a PS5. You can't show me, but you can show Kamari. Kamari has a PlayStation 5. I don't. I'm broke.
Even though I make fun of him for it, it is what it is. It's
It
okay.
is what it is. Give me my
The only
toy.
reason I make fun of you for it is because you make fun of me for other things. So that's
Short.
the only reason I did. I'm not okay. You're taller than me, but that doesn't make me short.
Short.
That just means that you're taller than me.
Short.
Because 5'8" is not short.
Short.
For a 15-year-old, that's not short.
I got Wolf on my side, bro. Come on. You're short. Just admit it.
For being the age of 15, that's
Brother,
not
you almost brother, you're almost 16. I just turned 15 a few months ago, so
Actually,
what am I doing?
no, those are things.
Dude, I turned 15 just a few months ago.
My dad was not that tall, and my mom is very short. Like, what do you expect from me? Your mother is taller than my mom. Like, come on now.
Bro, my dad is taller than me still.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I still have no idea how tall I actually am. I've been told about 5'8" because a guy I saw today was 5'11". So.
Southern Bump, 717. Sweet.
No, I'm 5'8".
Via
He was just like, since he was taller than you, he was like, I'm gonna just
113.
eyeball it a little bit.
Control. The ward.
Yeah, because I'm about 2 inches shorter than him. So, he guesstimated I'm about to. What game?
There are definitely people that are near my age that are like short.
Journey.
Yeah, there's a guy that I know that is a year younger than me, and barely as tall as Maddie. And I mean barely.
That's
like
crazy.
2 to
Bro,
3 inches.
I know, look, the youngest guy in our grade, in 9th grade, right, is just barely taller than Journey. Which is saying something, because Journey is one of the older people in the school, in our grade at least. Oh no, I'm pretty tall. She is like short though. I mean like, I'm talking like maybe 5'4". Maybe.
So you can't say I'm that short.
I'm taller
Right,
than
no.
her by a while. Well, actually, 5'4", 5'4" is an understatement. I literally, if I just like look up ever so slightly, I can't see her. She's that short. I could just be like, huh, where'd she go? Just looking all around. And I look down. Oh, there she is. She's that short. I just make fun of Kamari because he's just 1 inch shorter than me. Did I not go to? Oh, I went to the ward. That's right. I'm so confused on where I am. How do you keep getting stuck there, bro? Like, I don't
It's funny
understand.
because I know a lot of white people that are also younger than me, but they're like freaking 6 foot already.
Dude, I know a guy he's in 8th grade, and I have to actually straight up tilt my head up almost completely to look at him.
I know, like, bro. There's some people that just like get those freaking growth spurts. That's just like, bro, where did this come from?
No, they'll
who
hit
be
that.
feeding you?
Cause like, whatever they be feeding them, like I want that. I want tall. I want taller.
Also want taller. Actually, matter of fact, I don't even want to be taller anymore, for real. Like I'm just gonna like set like if this is like my actual height for the rest of my life, I'm gonna be like, I can live with it. But the problem is, I just don't want to be stuck with this baby voice. I hate it. I hate it.
Bro, you hear how my voice is? It's been like this for the past, like, year or two.
Yeah, I'm about to say, Ricky, I do know what you sound like.
Yeah, I was talking about a wolf.
Yeah, I know. It's just like still.
Yeah, you know what I sounded like 4 years ago.
I need to bandage it so we can
But still, we all have our humble.
From humble beginnings.
really gonna help me out.
Oh no. I didn't bring any bandages, I had to use it.
Oh, you're so dumb.
Like, probably find some, hold on.
Trying to get you some paper, gang. You're trying to get you some paper.
Man, I'm trying to give me some motion, you know?
That motion in the ocean.
That motion in the ocean, brother. The
Wait, I
one
forgot to ask
bad
you, what,
thing about VR, though, is I accidentally hit everything in my room. I'm surprised my controller isn't broken. Because I can't see.
Oh yeah, I forgot. This is not. It's not an Oculus. It's just PlayStation VR. I'm about to
It's
say.
PSVR, yeah.
Isn't like in VR, like you can just like make like a little small circle around you? to make sure that
Yes,
don't
but
fall
you
off?
know how small... I'm not even moving. It's literally just me using my hands to, like, do things, right? I've hit my wall. I've hit my door. I hit my bed frame multiple times. Like... I've hit almost everything in my room at least once. Not realizing it. And then, by the time I hit it, pain.
Pain.
This world shall know pain.
Oh, pain.
See, I've figured out that when I'm tired, when I sound tired, when I am tired, I am basically a Japanese voice actor. And that is not a joke. Omae wa mou shindai.
Bandage?
I don't have any
My
bandages,
wound's
lady.
gonna rot if I don't clean it.
Let's see, what's another one? Bankai. Shinbozukura. Now, but here's the thing, though. I've listened to how he says it twice. Ooh. Now, which character from Kamari, just name one of the characters. You know what I'm about to do. You know what I'm about to say.
So does
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say the one. Yoaimo.
Yo,
Also, if you haven't figured out, like, pretty quickly, I try to be a voice actor. Because, like, I can change my voice, like, basically on command. Sometimes it happens without me even knowing. You know? Because it's just, like, I've trained my voice that good. I'm just that good.
And for me, I don't change my voice, but
You
I
don't
can sound
change your
more
voice,
like
but you sound like way more characters than I do. Which I hate. Literally. I'm surprised that they didn't hire you. Like, you could tell me that they hired you for Takeda's voice, right? And I would believe you. Because you sound exactly like
Yo,
Takeda.
bro, I'm in Mortal Kombat.
What? What character?
I sound like a son. I sound like the son of a blind guy with a sword.
Close his eyes. I have my sword out right now. Die.
Okay, bro. But yeah, because all I have to do is just sound like this. Just sound
Yeah.
like
You just gotta be
hype myself
just
up a little bit.
slightly more energetic. And boom, Takeda. Now
And
me,
for another
I
character I
can.
can sound like that's from Mortal Kombat, all I have to do is make my voice a little raspier. Then out of that, I can sound like the Master of Chaos, Havoc.
Bug Stab? Stabby. There we go.
Yeah.
I literally swung the screwdriver into her head 3 times. 4 times the charm, it killed her.
Woohoo!
Because
But yeah,
screwdrivers
what
just
I said-
suck.
And another character I could sound like, just without really doing anything. Hi, I'm Finn Burtons. It's adventure
See,
time!
actually, I know another character you could sound like if you just like raised your voice slightly higher. You know, just like made it slightly higher. Or actually, no. That's me. You just need to lower just slightly. What do Luffy? I have the pitch. I have the pitch. I just don't have the voice right. I don't watch anime and sub. I like being able to see
Yeah, I
things.
don't really watch it, but I feel like I could do that. I want to relearn how to do a dub voice though, because I feel like I can do that too.
Let's see. What's some other? Oh, Kamari. You know the one that what's the first one that I found out that I could do like almost perfectly?
There's a lot. Like honestly, it's been so long. I forgot, because,
Japanese
like, it kinda just,
sub. Not no dub characters. I can't sound like no dub characters. They got too hard voice. But sub character. Oh. It's a or a sub character, right? And you should know him, right? Cuz let's be honest, we all have the same goals.
alright then, I will.
We all have the same. All men have the same goals as him. Let's be honest. 0-0.
I've seen this game again. I mean, not again. I've seen it before. Weak.
More accurate, Virgil be like. I still need
I'd say,
10 more sugars and 18 more proteins. Nutriastew. I need that.
And also, I don't know how proud I am of this, but I can sound like a creepypasta character, which I don't know how
Which creepypasta character?
Sonic by EXE.
Ah. Not proud